right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in the heart of Las Cruces on this beautiful Easter Sunday. And absolutely, you can dance anytime you want. You can sing. If you want to do special music, let me know. So why don't you just stand up if you'd like, and we'll get started with a couple of songs.
Beautiful. Good morning, everyone. I already had the first resurrection of the day. I was looking at the piano going, where's Sarah? I hear the music. I hear her voice. She was hiding behind Teresa, and I'm thinking, all right, but there she is, and thank you. It was wonderful. Thank you all for your music this morning. So happy Easter, Ramadan, and Passover, and so many more. There's several other holidays, holy days, converging on this week of this year. Apparently, every 33 years this happens. And so I thought, let's just hold that vision of everyone celebrating whatever they celebrate in life together. And I read from Reverend Raymond this morning that Easter, E-A-S-T-E-R, stands for Enlightened Awareness Sustaining True Empowerment Rising Up. So happy Enlightenment Awareness Sustaining True Empowerment Rising Up today to all of you. And welcome to our Center for Spiritual Living here in the heart of Las Cruces. Most of you already know, I think, that I'm Reverend Bonnie, the community spiritual leader here. And our vision is a world in loving partnership for the good of all. So we hold that vision, everyone just celebrating around the world today. How wonderful is that? And I would like to welcome anyone visiting for the first time, and I want to welcome back people that I haven't seen in a long time. I won't call you out, but you know who you are. We're glad that you're in the room with us today. It's so good to have you here. So, you will be able to find out all kinds of information about us on the website, but I want to let you know today that we have special cards, special on cards in the bookstore. One whole rack is labeled, and it's all marked down to $2, so you can fill up on cards that you would like to have throughout the year. And we filled up another rack with new cards, so check out what's new in the bookstore as well. Those are full price at this point, but please check them out. And our book study keeps meeting. We keep having amazing discussions on community and how it is that we can build and create and sustain and reveal the amazing community that we are. That's on Thursdays from 4 to 5. You are welcome to jump in at any time. The book that we are studying is called Community. And we have sacred service opportunities, and I'm so grateful to those who've already stepped up to help in the bookstore. We could use more of you, but to those who've already been willing to do so, thank you so much. And we still do need, if you are not a cleaning person yourself, but you happen to know a good cleaning person, we could use backup for our one cleaning person who sometimes needs a day off, whether she's sick or going out of town or whatever. So if you know someone or you are willing to be part of a cleaning team, please let me know, and we will add you to that team. And due to Easter being today, we have nothing happening after the service other than greeting each other in great love that we experience. And we will have our visioning next week after the service. We will be focusing on what the building is calling, what Spirit wants to do in and through the building, around the building. So join us for that visioning. And then the following Sunday, the 23rd of April, we will have our new member orientation. There's 5 Sundays, so we still have time to welcome any new members on board on the last Sunday. And we have begun, as you might see in the back, to accept items for our treasure sale, which will be the 29th. And Janice and Kay Ann and, let's see, Nisha was here helping. A lot of people have been helping throughout the week to price things. So you organize them into the bins, and then they price them and get them put in the back and all ready to go. All we have to do is lay them out on the tables the day of the treasure sale. So you're welcome to start bringing things in, and you're welcome to join them between 10 and 2, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday to price and sort and organize and all that good stuff. So please, I know Janice is here somewhere. There's Janice. Let her know if you'd like to participate and jump in on that one. And let's see, we're also looking toward our annual meeting, which is in May. And we have several board members going off the board, which makes room for several new amazing members in this community to step forward in sacred service in this way. If you're interested in even discovering what it is we do, learning about who we are, there will be pizza with the board of directors Monday, April 17th at 6 o'clock here at the center. Please RSVP to Gretchen, Wave, and Edie, and they are the team that is putting this together. Let them know if you're feeling a call to be on the board and to serve. And I have some past board members in the room. You are welcome to come back on the board. You already know what we're all about. So if you would like to get that information, come on April 17th at 6 o'clock here at the center, have pizza, and we will answer your questions. And now please welcome our practitioner in service this morning, Teresa.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Teresa, and I am a practitioner here at the Center for Spiritual Living in the heart of Las Cruces. Here we believe in the power of prayer, which we call spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. Please fill out a prayer request. They can be found in the pockets in front of you. For those of you on Zoom or listening to this later on YouTube, we have our beautiful, wonderful website, and you can click on prayer request, and it will be sent to us. And us is the prayer circle that meets every Tuesday. All the 4 New Thought communities come together over Zoom, and we pray with you. And what I'd also like to encourage you to do is, in front of you, where those prayer request cards are also gratitude cards. We would love to know how Spirit has worked in your life, how this beautiful, wonderful way of living has touched you in ways that we can celebrate with you. So please feel free to fill out a gratitude card as well. And after service, those of us wearing our stoles, I'm wearing a stole, Judy Hunt, another practitioner, we can always grab Bob here. We'd be more than happy to pray with you right after service, as I know that we come together praying with you. My life is aligned with the divine. So take advantage. I would like to take advantage of you. So now it is time for song, silence, and prayer.
Take a breath, close your eyes, go within and deep inside. The gift is always there to find. Open up, say a prayer, feel the peace that's waiting there. And Spirit is never far behind. Take a breath, close your eyes, go within deep inside. The gift is always there to find. Open up, say a prayer, feel the peace that's waiting there. And Spirit is never far behind. Take a breath, close your eyes, go inside. Take a breath, close your eyes, go inside. Take a breath, close your eyes, go inside.
So I invite you to stay in that inside of you, that within, that place of gratitude, that grace of knowing that this beautiful morning is already rolling out in that perfection, infinite possibilities, and we are open. We open our hearts and our thoughts. We give thanks for all that came together here through Zoom, in this room, and YouTube. All the hearts and hands that have already blessed this day, we just turn it over, give thanks, and receive. And so it is. So I'd like to share a quote from, I'm only allowing myself 2 books a month. New books, that doesn't count used books. But I received this Thursday or Friday, of course, as it works. It's Bell Hook's All About Love, New Visions. And it's not a new book, but I opened, and this is what she quoted Jack Kornfield sharing with us. Touched by love. It is possible to speak with our heart directly. Most ancient cultures know this. We can actually converse with our heart as if it were a good friend. In modern life, we have become so busy with our daily affairs and thoughts that we have lost this essential art of taking time to converse with our heart. Jack Kornfield, and so it is.
I think so. Okay. Some days we can forget to look around us. Some days we can't see the joy that surrounds us. So caught up inside ourselves, we take when we should give. So for today we pray for what we know can be, and on this day we hope for what we still can't see. It's up to us to be the change, and even though we've broken so much more, there's so much to be thankful for. Look beyond ourselves. There is so much sorrow. It's way too late to say I'll cry tomorrow. Each of us must find our truth. It's so long overdue. So for today we pray for what we know can be, and every day we hope for what we still can't see. It's up to us to be the change, and even though we world need so much more, there's so much to be thankful for. Even with our differences, there is a place we're all connected. Each of us can find each other's For today we pray for what we know can be. And on this day we hope for what we still can't see. It's up to us to be the change. And even though this world needs so much more, there's so much to be thankful for.
Yes, that was so beautiful. Thank you, Sergio Chavez. Thank you. Absolutely beautiful. Well, this morning we have a treat in store for you. We have two people that are going to share with us. One is Teresa Valenzuela, who was born and raised in Las Cruces. She was blessed to be a bilingual teacher in the local public school system for 25 years. In December of 2007, Teresa walked into what was then known as the Mastery of Life Center, now the Center for Spiritual Living, here in the heart of Las Cruces, where she found her spiritual home. She became a licensed religious science practitioner in February of 2017. And joining her is Lisa Juliano, and she was, I have to add, the board president a long time ago with me, and we had a great time serving, and she got us through a very rocky time, so I'm very grateful to her in the life of this center. She started attending the center in 2005 through the Course in Miracles group, and she currently facilitates the Power of 8 group. Prompted by her coursework at the center, Lisa has been studying various modalities of energy work since 2012. She works with people to help them become aware of their unique energy systems and how to use their energy to create a more satisfying life for themselves and those around them. There are more in-depth information on them on the website. I just consolidated it for this morning, so please welcome Lisa Juliano and Teresa Valenzuela.
Hi, Lisa. Good morning, everybody. You know who I am. And so I just want to invite you and thank you for your attendance here this morning to listen to my take and Lisa's wisdom on courageous vulnerability, the power of an open heart. So whether you're on Zoom or in this room, I'm a kindergarten teacher, or following us later on YouTube, thank you. Reverend Bonnie reminded us that we have a choice where we spend our Sunday mornings, and so I appreciate that and all the work that goes into making this possible. So this morning I woke up and I was looking at my notes, which is always dangerous, and I thought, why? What's this about vulnerability? Why are we even talking about it? Like, I felt so disjointed looking at what I spent days, copying and writing and refining. And so I went to Brene Brown's Daring Greatly, How the Courage to be Vulnerable Transform the Way We Live, Love, Parent, and Lead, that was published in 2012, right? So she's sort of the goddess of this whole movement of being courageous and fearless to look at vulnerability within us. And so this is what she reminded me this morning. Why? What most of us fail to understand, and what took me a decade of research to learn, is that vulnerability is also the cradle of emotions and experiences that we crave. We want deeper, more meaningful spiritual lives. Vulnerability is the birthplace of love, belonging, joy, courage, and creativity. I want all that. It is the source of hope, empathy, accountability, and authenticity. I could live with that too. If we want greater clarity in our purpose, or deeper or more meaningful spiritual lives, this is what Brene Brown reminds us, vulnerability is the path. And so I'm here to share sort of my journey, and everything just sort of worked together. I had no idea what this would look like for me, but Divine Creative Mind has my best and highest always. So here we are. And so after I Googled that, I always Google things that I'm curious about or I want to know more about. I actually Googled vulnerability about a month ago, hoping that there'd be a complete talk about it, and I could just print it out and, Yeah, I think that's called plagiarism, but I would have given credit. So I met this new person. Her name is Lisa Oliveira. She is a marriage and family counselor. And boy, she just opened this whole idea that vulnerability is really multifaceted. I was looking at it down this tunnel. And so I'm going to ask Bob, because I would not be that teacher. My son's here today, so I wanted to be that good teacher that has a slide. And Bob brought a new toy. I never used one of these before. Anyway, back on track, right. So Lisa Oliveira came up with this hierarchy of vulnerability. And looking at it, I see that the ground, right, the foundation, the most important is vulnerability within myself. And then it fills up to being able to share that vulnerability with the most trusted person in your life. And then it grows out to with a few trusted people. And then with my personal or my spiritual community, here you are supporting me, thank you. And then within the wider community, and then with the world. So this made sense to me, this very simple little visual. But what I was really connected to was that, oops, I probably just turned it off, was that within yourself piece, right? That's the biggest piece of all of this. And that's a foundation, being able to be vulnerable within myself. And she goes on to say that, and I do also want to jump in and say, for me, vulnerability and self-trust just go together, and that will make sense in just a moment. But Lisa, my best friend, and Lisa Oliveira, says that being vulnerable within ourselves might look, she's not telling us this is how it has to look. She's saying it might look like allowing ourselves to feel all our feelings, good, bad, and otherwise labeled, being honest with ourselves, and I would like to add rigorously honest with ourselves about what we're experiencing and reducing and helping us avoid, minimize, or numb what we're feeling. And I used all three of those tools before my path became clear. I would avoid difficult situations or feelings. I would minimize them. I grew up in a family that if you didn't talk about it, it wasn't there. Or numbing. You know, I am in a 12-step recovery program, and I spent years numbing what I could not understand within myself. And so this allows me to be present right now here with all of you. When I allow myself to be honest about my feelings and emotions and experiences, then I make it easier on myself to do that with all of you, with all the people that are around me, that loving and caring vulnerability of understanding or wanting to understand. And she also, Lisa Oliveira, goes on to say that safe vulnerability includes boundaries. And I caught on to that word, boundaries. A couple of weeks ago, I heard, her name is Reverend Renee out of Georgia, and she was saying how boundaries are really intuitive. We don't necessarily have to construct boundaries. That if we go within and we listen, we know what is safe for us and what isn't safe for us. It's about stopping the noise and going within, right? Listening to our heart speak, as not bell hooks, but Jack Kornfield reminded us. And so boundaries, that's one way that I can navigate this exploration of being vulnerable within myself. I have to start within myself. I spent so many years trying to control everything and everyone outside of me, and some of you have that experience, and it just never quite worked. It didn't work for me, and it definitely didn't work for others. And so what I've learned in this philosophy, what I've learned in my recovery program, is it all begins within me, inside of me. But I have to be vulnerable enough to look at myself and reflect, to see my part in a situation, and to be able to say, which isn't easy for me, maybe I was wrong, right? But learning how to be that vulnerable, honest, authentic person, that's truly what I want. That's truly what I want to be. Because as I get healthier, everything and everyone around me experiences that. Just as when all of you allow that expansion and that revealing, it affects me. It affects me. So thank you, each and every one of you. So, so one of the ways I can navigate, right, this exploration of being vulnerable within myself, I have to start here, is looking at boundaries. And would you not know that we just started a book study? And I've spent the last 3 weeks looking at boundaries and self-trust. That is how the divine works in my life. I didn't plan this. This book was not chosen by me, I can tell you that. I had no idea that chapter 4, which is what I read this week, would be focused on boundaries. But that's how it is in my life, because I am open to receiving all those blessings. So Juliano gives a definition of boundaries. And I told Lisa, I'm not going to bring a bunch of books up there. Anyway, and I have books I won't have time to share with you. But anyway, so she says that looking at self-trust and vulnerability, for the purpose of cultivating self-trust, the boundary line is the one you create for yourself, right? You create it within yourself, and you create it around yourself in order to have that safe, belonging, loving feeling. It all starts within. But it won't do me any good to use these intuitive boundaries or these other boundaries that over the years I have found I need if I allow my boundaries to be overstepped or completely collapse. I am in the driver's seat. I can take responsibility. So it's not enough for me to know what my boundaries are if I'm not willing, and it's not easy. I sometimes still love to be a people pleaser, but if I allow people to overstep those boundaries that I know I need in order to be that loving person back to you, or I just let them collapse completely, right? So I can't say it any better than Ilanya. And how do you do this? So why I'm here, and what, right? Dr. Lavetta told me what I might want to focus on, those boundary issues. And so how does that happen, And there's 12. 12 is such a sacred number, right? So in this book, there is 12 ways to establish and maintain your boundaries. And I won't go through all 12. We have to do something more, Lisa. But anyway, the first one really caught my attention because when I am creating or tapping into or revealing that boundary, I need, as the individual, I need to know that what and why that boundary is in my life, why I'm feeling the need to create that. I need to understand my boundaries. And I believe that it's only through understanding the why and how of a boundary in my life, and it's not a wall. If you buy the book, you can read about the wall. But I need to understand that so that I can then explain to you or share with you why that boundary is necessary in my life. So now I'm going to jump to number 12, because she reminds me on number 12 that when establishing these boundaries that I've mindfully created or tapped into, I always need to pause to make certain that my efforts are really what I need to be safe and not to maintain control over the relationship or interaction that I have with the other person. I need to be mindful. Time, in fact, she uses this example. Time to me, showing up on time, if you're 2 minutes late, I'm already gratefully resentful. Or if you forget to follow through a commitment, what's that about? But is that about really feeling safe or wanting to control everything around me? I need to really be honest and open with that. And I will tell you, I had egg on my face. Friday, I made plans with 2 different people for phone calls. I changed the time and the date. Friday, I have no idea what I was doing at noon, but I wasn't calling the person that I had said, we really need to change Fridays are better for me. Called her at 4 o'clock and said, well, this is noon in Hawaii. Didn't you just get back from Hawaii? But I did apologize and make amends. And yesterday, 1.5 hours before a Zoom, I fell asleep. And the person I had changed the time and date with called me and said, I'm in the waiting room. Are you going to show up? And so, right, it's about being vulnerable, looking at my mistakes, making amends, apologies, and just accepting myself. So that is helping me with these boundary issues. And where am I trying to control someone else, and where does it really matter? So she also talks about speaking from the heart. And, you know, we are sitting here in CSL in the heart of Las Cruces for many reasons. But this is where my truth is. Speaking from my heart, whether I'm speaking to myself, because I have great conversations in my head to myself, or whether I'm speaking with others. Yanla tells me, speaking from your heart and sharing your truth is a way to take a stand for yourself within yourself. This is a major step toward reminding me that I can be trusted with my own well-being. I know what I need. I just need to be sure that those boundaries are not overstepped, or that I don't allow them to collapse. And I can trust myself to do that with the help not only of my connection and my oneness with the divine, but also with all of you, this wonderful community. And I'm going to end this. I should have just read the whole book to you, right? But she tells us 3 ways that we might be able to build that self-trust, develop that self-trust, and I'm going to make the leap, develop that vulnerability within myself. I need to stand in my truth. And that means, you know, even being silent when someone may be sharing information that doesn't align with your spirit. Just sitting there listening to it, to me, is not standing in your truth. You need to speak your truth, right? Which is uncomfortable, being vulnerable enough. And then lesson number 3, being courageously vulnerable, speaking from your heart means being willing to be vulnerable. How many of you would like to be a little more vulnerable today? You don't have to raise your hand, We've already covered the importance of vulnerability on the journey toward developing self-trust. While the challenge to your speaking, actions, or intentions may make you feel vulnerable and bad, you can recover from feeling bad if and when you tell the truth. If your desire is really to trust who you are, when you are interacting with others, you simply must learn how to be vulnerable and be courageous enough to stand in your vulnerability through your actions and your words and your deeds. And so it is. And I'd like to invite my dear friend Lisa up here. Thank you. And as she's walking up here, if you didn't hear Bonnie's talk last week, you need to tune into that, and you need to pick up a copy of the Science of Mind magazine.
I have a big stack too here.
Okay, here.
She's also a school teacher. So happy Easter, everyone. Great to see everyone out here. And I'm going to kind of give a little bit of a different perspective here. So as Reverend Bonnie mentioned, I've spent a lot of time in studying energy systems. And kind of what that means is how our mental activity, our thoughts, our emotional activity interacts with our energy field, meaning our aura and our chakras and all those kind of things. And so what I found I've been studying this since 2012, and the most important things are, guess what? Open mind, open heart. And I feel like I'm pretty open-minded. I'm pretty good about that. But I really related to what you shared about the armadillo last week. If you weren't here last week, or you didn't get to hear Reverend Bonnie's talk, basically sometimes I feel like I'm an armadillo with this thick shell around me, basically. And then coming out of COVID, how do I come out of my shell a little bit more and a little bit more, make myself more vulnerable? So I really dove deep into the open heart part, because that's been a challenge for me. It hasn't necessarily been as easy as the open mind. And so what Teresa and I thought might be fun, if you guys are up for it, is to kind of play with these energy interactions that we have with each other around when we might get into defense mode and close our energy systems down a little bit. Okay, so are you guys game? And if you're not game, I want to always give everyone an out. If you're new, if you're not comfortable, you don't have to partake. You can just kind of stay in your seat. Do we have anybody in the Zoom? Yes, we do. I see 3. Okay. So if you're on Zoom or if you're watching this later, if you're on Zoom right now, Teresa is going to put you into breakout rooms and work with you that way. And if you're watching later, I just ask you to follow along and maybe think of some situations where you were in that position, okay? So the first case scenario, I want everybody to think of their favorite color. Everybody got it? Okay, so I want you to find someone in the room that has a different favorite color than you do. You can get up and walk around if that feels comfortable for you. Go ahead and take a second to find somebody who likes a different color than you. You want to model with me? Okay, does everybody have somebody? Can you co-host, Teresa? He said he did. All right. Now, what I want everybody to do is we're going to kind of just be really stuck in whatever color we're in. This is my favorite color, and Reverend Bonnie, I'm going to ask you to do the same thing that I'm doing.
I'm already stuck in my favorite color.
Go ahead and cross your arms. Think about your favorite color. This is my favorite color. Actually, I think we have the same favorite color. Okay, what kind of energy is going on here? Is there any energy interaction between the two people? Not too much, right? So that's a... So this is going to be a closed energy field, right? Not much interaction. So in a second, I'll go through all the ones, but in Hands of Light here, she calls this boundary containment, and the boundary is a little bit too strong. There's no energy coming between the two people because they're so stuck in their own positions, okay? Okay, so when we get into this position where we're just totally closing it's like the armadillo Reverend Bonnie came up with last week. We're so closed in our position that there's no energy exchange. She calls that one boundary containment, okay? So this particular book that I'm referencing was one of the first that came out in the 80s. She talks about how we all use our energy. And I feel like we're coming to a place where we're becoming more aware of each other's energy. Do you feel that? All right, are we ready for the next one? Okay. All right, so the next one, we're going to have one person be person A and one person be person B. Okay, so in a second, I'll have you choose which one is which. And I want person A to go ahead and talk to the other person about something that's on your mind. It could be your health, relationships, work, anything that politics. It doesn't have to be too deep, whatever you feel comfortable sharing. And we're going to take about 30 seconds to go ahead and share that. So decide who's going to be person A and who's person B.
Are you A or B?
Oh, you can be A.
So what do I do?
Okay, so person A, go ahead and tell your story right now. So anything that's bothering you? Step away from the mic.
Focused on what's going on here.
Maybe more.
Yeah, it's a new experience, but in the beginning it would have been, this was like looking down to two people and this was
Well, and it's always worked out.
so that's why I'm like, okay, I just had to trust and sure enough, the day that I told one of our board members who was very good about it, so she came and said,
So how do, like, that's part of it too, like how do you not take on other people's fears, that's what I. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead now and swap positions. So now the other person, tell anything that's bothering you about health, relationships, work.
should I go work with her?
Sure. Okay, thank you so much, everybody, for playing that game with us. If everybody could kind of, if you want to get back to your seat, or you can stay where you are. Yeah, maybe you can continue your conversations after service. Okay, so how was that experience for people? Some feedback? It was fun? Okay. So when it's funny because some of these words have crept into our common speech, right? Like sometimes when somebody's telling us our story, what do we say? Oh, my heart went out to them, right? So sometimes when somebody's sharing in that way, we're literally sharing our hearts with them, right? And so that's a beautiful thing. And now, when we move into, let me look at my notes for a second. Okay. For me, it's more comfortable. I'm more comfortable about sort of mental processes, right? So I really liked the. Let's take the example of, say you're being self-critical or critical to other people or judgmental towards yourself or judgmental to other people. How do we shift that energy? How do we move from a kind of what they call like a lower, we always talk about lower vibration or lower frequency. How do we take that into a higher frequency? So I really like this idea that we've been talking about curiosity. If you find yourself going into criticism of yourself and others, go into curiosity. Why am I having this feeling? Why am I judging myself? Why am I judging the other person? Why am I judging the situation? Starting to move into curiosity. And then from there, we can move into understanding. So we've shifted a low vibration into a higher vibration. Okay, so I'm inviting everyone this week to kind of be aware of your interactions with yourself and with others, and just kind of maybe try to shift the energy. Now, for me, it's a little bit harder around the heart area. Okay, so let's try one with that. So sometimes I feel like constricted or fear in my heart, right? So what can we move into from there? From there, we can move into more like accepting yourself, like Teresa was saying, like how can I have more acceptance? And then from there, move into like a universal love. Now, when I talk about love, it's not always easy for me to have that self-love for myself. So sometimes I need teachers or examples. So when I say that, who's our best, one of our best teachers, or maybe the best, I would say the best, but let's say one of the best teachers of love throughout the ages? Jesus, right? And here we are on Easter. So I want to go back to my first love here, which is Course in Miracles. And maybe not everybody knows, but this is supposed to be Jesus channeled through a woman who was a professor of psychology at Columbia University. So this is Jesus' words. So I want to read a quote right from the beginning in the preface about what Course in Miracles says. What it says, nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. So sometimes we feel like we're threatened, right? Obviously, our bodies can be attacked. Our character can be attacked. Our personality can be attacked. But what can never be attacked? Soul. The truth of who we are as a soul, right? And wasn't that what the resurrection was about? That we're not just the physical body. We're beyond that. So I want to read one more quote about the resurrection and the crucifixion. The only message of the crucifixion is that you can overcome the cross. Until then, you are free to crucify yourself as often as you choose. This is not the gospel I intended to offer you. So this whole teaching is about how to stay in the truth of yourself, the love and light of your heart and your mind. And so I invite you all to take that out into the week and try to extend that love and light from your heart, okay? Now, we're going to practice this a little bit right now. I'm going to do it, we're going to do an ending meditation, and we're going to work up the hierarchy again. Can you put it up a second? Sure. And we're going to start with ourselves, and then I'm going to invite you, if it feels comfortable for you, to share your energy, your heart energy, with the most trusted person, and then we'll go to the people in the room, and then our entire spiritual community, and so on, all the way up. Now, if any point you don't want to share, you can just bask in the love and light that is available to us at all times. Okay? And I just want to kind of put a plug in. We do this on the first Thursday and first and third Monday of the month with the Power of 8 group. The process that we're going to go through now, we use it to share the love and light with people who are facing challenges. And if anybody feels called, right now there are 6 of us, and we like to have 8 because it's a Power of 8. So, see me after, and you can join in the group. Okay? All right, so just inviting everyone now to close your eyes if that feels comfortable for you, or maybe just cast your eyes down. Putting your feet flat on the floor, grounding down into Mother Earth. As we feel the energy from Mother Earth just rising up through the soles of our feet, through our ankles, moving up our shins, through our knees, the tops of our legs, the base of our spine, moving up through our pelvic area, our solar plexus, up through our hearts, our throats, up through the center of our brains, and all the way up through the tops of our heads. And now feeling the energy moving down through the tops of our heads, down, the spiritual energy entering our brains, opening our minds like a lotus flower, down through the base of the skull, down through our spines, down our legs, and out through the soles of our feet. And the energy is moving in two directions now. And just feel it commingling at your heart. Maybe imagining colors or textures or temperatures. Just feeling the energy in your heart. And if this feels comfortable for you, you can just stay here. And if you're okay with it, we're going to move up the next stair of the pyramid. We're just going to imagine this love and light in our heart just shining out to someone in your life. It could be the person you worked with today. It could be a significant other, a child, just someone who's going through challenges, just sending them this love and light from your heart. Just imagine your heart radiating out. And now we're just radiating out to this room, to everyone in this space. If you want to hold your hands up in blessing your position, we know that our hands are just an extension of our hearts, radiating out love and light to everyone in this room. And now to the whole Center for Spiritual Living community, anyone who's ever walked through these doors to go to the bookstore, for housekeeping, for working in the office, anyone who's ever come through these doors for 12-step meetings, book studies, anything, sending them love and light from our hearts. And now feeling that radiating out even further to all of Las Cruces, to the whole state of New Mexico, sending this love and light out now to the whole world. Blessing not just all the people, but the plants, the animals, the waters, the mountains, our beautiful Mother Nature. Sending this love and light out from our hearts now. We are so blessed. And now, returning this energy back to Mother Earth through the soles of your feet. We are so grateful for these lives that we've been given, these physical bodies, all the material resources, the food, the water, for these wonderful, joyous, exquisite lives that we lead. And I am so grateful for this time together and this knowing, and I release this to law, knowing that it is so, and so it is. Thank you. I know. Another time. So that was it. Yeah. That was sorry. I thought it was part of it. I'm not asleep. I heard you.
I'm getting used to this new setup. Okay. This song is called Rise Up. I thought that was a good title for Easter Sunday. It's by Suze Ogden and Linda Graham. Oh, hang on a second. This thing turns itself off. There we go.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you again, Sarah. I like the new setup. I just couldn't find you at first. Thank you. And what an amazing morning this was. Thank you again to Lisa and Teresa for bringing your inspiration, your amazing ability to share with us the work that you're doing and how it impacts your life, and it just blessed us. So thank you so much. Well, this is the time when we think about giving back to this center that supports mornings like this. And as Lisa and Teresa reminded us, it supports a lot of activity here during the week that is supporting our larger community, especially the recovery community, in a variety of areas. We have NA, AA, we have TOPS, which is taking off pounds sensibly, and we also have the Singing Out Choir that meets here on Tuesday nights. So we have a lot going on that isn't necessarily CSL, but it's our heart reaching out to the community. So when you think about giving to the center, know that you're giving to support our building being open for these folks to come in and serve. They do give us a little bit, but we don't require anything. We want to be of service, and we want our building used by them. So know that you're supporting them by supporting us. And we already got a thank you from where 10% of our income went. And 1 month was the action program for animals. They thanked us very much for serving them. And this month, our tithe recipient is the Las Cruces Public Schools Foundation, which serves as a private partner with the district to provide funds to the community of learners in Las Cruces Public Schools to support and enhance the educational experience of students, to promote innovation in the classroom, increase community involvement in education, and pursue and recognize excellence in teaching and learning. So how wonderful we had 2 amazing teachers here today to share with us as well. And so that's where 10% this month is going. We do have places to place your offering at both doors as you leave, and know that we are so grateful for how you support this community, because we're grateful for how this community supports our larger community. Thank you so much for being here. Let's say our affirmation together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, in me. And let's sing, I am so blessed. And think about the blessings of this morning as you sing.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
So take that heart energy with you out into the world this week. Think about that elevation that we practiced in here. I am grateful once again for the amazing community that shares with us. Y'all don't have to just listen to me. You've got all of each other to listen to, and it's so wonderful. Thank you again to Lisa and Teresa for sharing with us. Let's stand, and Sergio for singing for us this morning. Yes. Let's send that energy out as we sing our peace song and see the peace of the world. We're celebrating 3 amazing holidays this week and more.